While we're technically on the road, it is still playoff time for your Arizona Cardinals. In this episode, it's a divisional round. We head down to Tampa to see whether or not this run can continue. We beat the Giants on the road by 3 last week. The miraculous punt from one Bruce Tootin, a big part of the reason as to why we are here. We really don't have that much to do before getting into this game. I do want to take a look at the Bucs lineup, but that is about it. And we'll get right down to business. Quarterback, Christian Vermiglio, I guess that would be. Vermiglio? Vermiglio. It depends on how you want to pronounce it, but regardless, 83 overall at 22 years old. Star development. Yikes. Running back, Pearson Vickers. They also have Tyrone Sloan, who we could have had in the draft, both 83 overall. Frederick Chung at fullback. Wideouts, Dave Barber and Juju. All right, it drops off a little bit there with Chris Godwin, but 2 major game changers at wide receiver, especially Dave Barber. I don't know if we had a chance to draft Dave Barber. I'm assuming we did, but good Lord. Tight end wise, it's O.J. Howard. The offensive line starts off in a little bit of rough shape with Trey Pugh. Dylan Baxter, that's not how you spell Dylan, sir. Center is Preston Emerson. Right guard, Lance Milanovic, and Bronson O'Neill. So, hit or miss offensive line. Defensive side of things, Will Graham, Dontarius Ndukwe, I guess, and Ndukwe, and VWA. Right. Or VA, I guess. Cameron Shelton at linebacker. Vasti Gaylor, hell of a name. And Asher Hurst. Corners are Teray Hagen, and Vernon Hargreaves. Safety, Mitchell Watson and Eduardo Padrino. I was hoping, as we continued to move on here, that eventually we would find a weakness in that roster. I don't really think there is a weakness in that roster. We have a slight edge at quarterback. Running back, I mean, they might have a slight edge. They have the major game changers at wideout. The only real advantage I'd say we have is that they have a couple of weaknesses on the offensive line, whereas ours is at least a little bit more consistent. But there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to have the overall advantage, and it's going to be a challenge somehow, some way, though. We are 2 overall points higher. That has to be due to better depth. That's the only thing that makes sense, and I strongly disagree with that assessment that we are a 2 overall point better team. I mean, technically we might be, but let's be honest, after looking at the Bucs roster, we know that this is a much, much closer matchup than it appears, and this could go either way. I love the clips from last week. The snow game against New York. What an effort from this team. And again, we are going to need our difference makers to step up on both sides of the ball. The defense was so crucial last week. We'll see what happens this time out. Extremely nervous for this. It is the furthest we have ever gotten in a postseason. Our first ever postseason appearance. We at least make it out of the first round. And we'll see what we can do here in the divisional round. Through the first quarter we go. The Bucs unable to score on their opening drive. We at least put up a field goal. They respond with one of their own. And we're tied at 3 after 15 minutes. So we advance towards halftime here. Who will strike next? The answer is your Cardinals. We're up by a field goal yet again. The Bucs, though, with a late drive, tie it yet again. 6-all at the half. A defensive battle, and this is going to swing and swing heavily in terms of favoring one side or the other. I can nearly guarantee it's going to be a 10-point lead for one side. That's just how it goes. Through the third, we score immediately. 13-6, make it 16-6. But we will end the quarter at 16-13. And we have the ball at their 13-yard line. An unreal third quarter starts off with a 100-yard kick return. Jamon Hughes. Absolutely beautiful. They can't do anything on the follow-up drive. We end up getting a 51-yard field goal for Evan Fain. They do respond with a 5-yard rushing touchdown. The quarterback able to get in. And now this drive here where we've had a couple of big plays to Reynaud and Ricardo Marshall. 4th and inches on the 13, so I was going to say we could watch it, but it's fairly obvious that we're going to kick the field goal here. And we do. 19-13, 5 seconds gone at the start of the fourth quarter. Let's see what happens here on the follow-up. Can the Bucks get anything going to get back into this game? They cannot. They're forced to punt. We're still up by 6. This drive starts at the 3. Can we make any headway? We cannot. But Bruce tooting another monster punt pins them back to the 8 with 10:21 remaining. Can Tampa get anything going this time? They cannot. Under 9 minutes left in regulation. We are still up by 6. Can the offense get anything going here to put the pressure on? It's 3 and outs. Tampa takes over at their own 20. 7:40 left, and unfortunately this defensive battle's continuing, and our offense is giving them a chance to get back into it. Can they do it on this drive? No, they cannot. Another 3 and outs. We start at our own 21 with 6:42 remaining. Can the offense take away a little bit of time off the clock? Yes, they can. A mammoth drive that ends in an 8-yard touchdown pass to Clayton Massey. We failed on the 2-point conversion, but we are up by 12 with 1:38 remaining. That happened so quickly, I didn't even have a chance to stop the sim to see if we could cap off that touchdown. We just rolled at the end of that, and it was the 22-yard pass and then a ton of penalties that we were able to overcome. Another 26-yard pass. Beautifully done. And the question now is whether or not Tampa can make anything happen. 1:38 to go. They start on the 25. Can we shut them down? We're up by 12, under 2 minutes left. Just moments away, perhaps, from the conference championship game. Vermilio rolls out. He is looking, throws back to the right, and it's caught. I thought 26 there. I think that is DeVries. He would have had a chance to make a play on that. He did not. Tampa with over 300 yards of total offense. Only 13 points on the board, though. 1:29 remaining. A turnover here would basically seal the deal. Would be able to burn their timeouts. Vermilio looks to run again. Throws it quickly to Barber over the middle, who gets taken out. Tampa is forced to burn one of those 3 timeouts. It's 3rd and 4 from the 31. Can the defense come up with a game-ending stop? Let's find out. Vermilio hands off to Sloan. He breaks up the middle. Spin move is shut down. But the biggest play of the game for Sloan, again, a running back who we could have had rather than Massey. But with the clock running, 1:10 left. Are the Bucks out of time? Quick throw out to the left. It's Sloan. Again, juke for the first. But that'll keep the clock running. 1 minute left. Ball on the Cardinals, 46. We're looking pretty good with that clock ticking down. It would take a miracle at this point for the Bucks to pull this off. Vermilio looking, throws out to his right. Howard is there, forced to stay in bounds. That is the key. The defense right now shutting down the sidelines. Bend don't break to keep that clock running. 38 left at the time of the snap. Vermilio, another quick throw to the right. Howard gets the first, tackled in bounds, and Tampa's forced to call a timeout with 31 seconds remaining. Ball at the 33. We are just 31 seconds away from the NFC Championship. Can we get it done? Vermilio throws, misses its target. 27 seconds left. An unbelievable drive in the 4th quarter. Despite penalties, offensive penalties, we were able to overcome it. Vermilio here, nobody in the backfield, throws over the middle to absolutely nobody. That brings up 3rd and 10. We know Kansas City is moving on. It's just a matter of who they would face in the AFC Championship. Oh, and we'll be facing Detroit if we win this. There will be no rematch against San Francisco. Vermilio looks like he's going to run, throws out to the left. Caught out of bounds, though. That brings up 4th and 10. We are 19 seconds away from a showdown against the Detroit Lions. It's Chiefs and Patriots in the AFC title game, because of course it is, and we will be taking on the Detroit Lions, barring the worst collapse in the history of the postseason. And unfortunately, we're going to be forced to watch this. I can't tell from that angle. Thanks, game. He's in. Hell of a catch from the looks of it by Juju Smith-Schuster, but time is of the essence for Tampa. A defensive showdown. 1st and 10 from the 19 with 19 seconds remaining. We have had a history with Detroit this season. We have had a history with San Francisco. Vermilio goes down, ruled a fumble, and recovered. And that is it. Demetrios Brooks picks it up. The Arizona Cardinals are going to the NFC Championship game again to take on the Lions. Absolutely unbelievable that finally we make the playoffs, and here we go. McCormick takes a knee. Tampa, you're terrible sports. Just terrible. Imagine calling a timeout there. Absolute dicks. Absolute dicks. You should be ashamed of yourself. Just ashamed. I've hit exit like 15 seconds ago. Thank you very much. This game is over. 25-13 is your final. A showdown with Detroit is on the horizon. Joey McCormick and company get the job done. McCormick, though, not his greatest game, but still pretty good. 22 of 39, 289 yards and a touchdown. Rushing-wise, Massey struggled a little bit. Reynaud had a decent game, 4.8 yards per. Receiving-wise, Mack, Farrell, Sapp all had 5 receptions, although Farrell led the way in terms of yardage. Clayton Massey, though, was the only one to actually have a touchdown reception. Blocking-wise, the line struggled, but we were able to survive. Defensively, Cole led the way in terms of tackles. No tackles for a loss, but an ungodly 5 sacks in that game. 2 for Brooks, 1 for Myers, Seamster, and Morgan each. No interceptions, but the big forced fumble from Darian Meyer on the pinch. And it worked out on the pinch, on the blitz, call it what you will. Fame was 4 for 4. Bruce Tootin averaged 63.5 yards per punt. And Jamon Hughes with a Hester-esque kick return to start off the second half that we never really looked back from. Again, we move on to take on Detroit in the NFC Conference Championship game. Absolutely unbelievable. It took us this long to make it here. We are on the road. We finished with identical 10-6 records, but of course they did beat us in the regular season as well. Lucas Jensen. Oh, good question as to how we want to improve you. I mean, the run block, just in general, the finesse would be nice, but pass block power, lead block. I mean, technically we have you as a tackle. So, you know, anything lead block could be quite helpful. Let's make him better in terms of a pass protector. It won't get him up to an 81 overall, but it is a scheme fit. And at least the pass block finesse goes up, so I'm okay with that. Rayshon Sapp maybe up to an 81. Although, again, I think I'm just going to make him better as a blocker. I mean, for the most part, catching-wise, we know he's good enough to do what we need him to do. It's just the deep route that kind of sucks. I want to make him better as a pass blocker, make him a little bit more complete. It keeps him at an 80. Technically, he's an 82 with confidence, but I'm all right with that decision. I mean, offensively, he's about as good as he's going to get anyway. A trip to Ford Field to take on the Lions. 1 win away from a Super Bowl and our first ever playoff appearance. It is, of course, Chiefs and Patriots. We will know the result of that game once we get in to this game itself. So we will know who from the AFC is moving on. We're getting right down to business. We are taking a look at the Lions lineup. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Quarterback, George Whitney, who has been up there, from what I can remember, year in and year out in terms of top quarterbacks. I want to take a look here at awards. So he has won Best Quarterback twice, Offensive Player of the Year in 2027, 2-time Pro Bowler. As a third-round selection, Whitney is no joke. Running back-wise, we do have a distinct advantage, at least in terms of overall with Karan. Or yeah, I've never been good at pronouncing his name. I guess it's Kerryon Johnson. I've never been good at pronouncing that. It's just it's not an orthodox name. You couldn't have just been Michael. You couldn't have just been Michael. They have Martinez Lassiter as a backup option. Jimmy Hayden at fullback. Wideouts. They do have the top wideout on either side with Julian Gamble. But overall, I'd say we're about even. If not, we have a decent little advantage. Tight end-wise, they have Adonis Steed, but we have a better 1-2 punch, but Steed's obviously a monster. The O-line, Shimon Amy is there. Trey Reedy, the rookie, Evan Stammer, Martin Mathis, and Pappas Octavian. So a better offensive line in terms of high-end talent, but it just about evens out because of that weak right side. On the defensive side of things, Deshaun Hand and Darius Kelly, Mitchell Reynaud as well, and defensive tackle Richard Mitchell. So defensive line, again, probably, close to even at least. Linebacker-wise, Stanley Dorsey, Jose Estes, and Dylan Osborne. So no doubt, even with Scott Walsh there and Don DeEasy, that we have the advantage at linebacker. Corner-wise, it's about even. Bradley Turner, Ish Ransom, and David Janis. Safeties, Roy Vines, who is out, and DeAndre Manning. So we have arguably an advantage on defense. Josh Lambo and Lack Edwards, which is just a great name as the special teams units. We have a chance. They are by no means invincible. Overall-wise, we have a massive advantage thanks to the better depth. Let's do this. Halfway there. It would take 3 wins, 3 wins to get to the Super Bowl, 4 wins to get there, 4 wins to win the whole damn thing. 2 wins down, 2 to go, and that first opportunity is right here, right now, against George Whitney and the Detroit Lions. Again, we will know from the scoreboard ticker who has moved on between the Patriots and the Chiefs. We will know who awaits us in the Super Bowl. It's just, can we get there? And to be honest, it doesn't seem real, like we finally have gotten to this point. It hasn't really had, in my opinion, this kind of organic buildup where it's like, okay, we struggled and we shouldn't have. We struggled and we shouldn't have. And now, all of a sudden, when I'm kind of not really expecting it, I'm expecting us to just kind of disappoint again. Here we are. Everything's finally clicking, and this could be the year. Through the first quarter we go. We strike first with the touchdown. 7-0, make it 10-0 at the end of the opening 15 minutes. On our opening drive, it's a 7-yard touchdown pass to Rayshon Sapp. Through the second quarter we go. Can the defense hold on? The answer is no at the very least. Now 10-3, make it 16-3. And a late field goal for the Lions. It's 16-6 at halftime. We are 30 minutes away. If we can just keep up this pace, 16-6. Tremendous job by this defense to hold the Lions offense to just 6 points. Through the third quarter we go. Another field goal, another quick touchdown, 25-6. It's a 19-point lead. We have pinned them down to the 1. Are we just 15 minutes away from a Super Bowl? Can we force a safety here? New England spanks Kansas City. The winner of this game goes on to play the Patriots. Can we force a safety here? Handoff to Lassiter. He won't make too much space. Only gets 3 yards. We are just 15 minutes, a little bit less now, away from a Super Bowl against New England. A 19-point lead, a quick hit with a touchdown out of nowhere to really turn the momentum. Whitney, play action. Has time, is getting rushed, throws out to his right, it's tipped and knocked down. Number 36, I'm not even sure who that is because of the hair, and it doesn't matter. The Lions fall short. Edwards somehow doesn't bank that off the back of the defender, which is outrageous, and Jamon Hughes safely returns that punt. Any points here would pretty much put the game out of reach. Joey McCormick, 16 of 21, 164 yards and a touchdown. Is this the time? Is this the time for your Arizona Cardinals? Let's sim through this drive and see what happens. We are going to the Super Bowl. Another field goal. 28-26. 10-24 away from a Super Bowl matchup against the Patriots. The Lions can't get anything going. Interception by Le'Veon Cole. We start at the 23, and I want to enjoy whatever comes of this drive. We have shut down a potent Lions offense with a major game changer at tight end, game changers in the passing game, and a really strong quarterback as McCormick throws over the middle and hits Marshall. He'll pick up 7. 2nd and 3 now at the 17. They've allowed 353 yards. Their defense wasn't looking that bad. We knew we had the advantage, but their defense has struggled tremendously today. McCormick looking, has a man wide open in the middle, doesn't throw to him, tries to force it to Mack instead. That'll set up 3rd and 3. Why he did not go to, I believe that was the running back, wide open over the middle. I don't know. Maybe it was the camera angle that was a little bit deceiving. That is 3rd and 3 now. That was Ricardo Marshall's first reception of the game. Can we get the first down and kill a little bit more time off the clock? The 13 and 3 Patriots await. It is knocked down at the line. Not McCormick's most impressive showing this postseason, as we'll let the Lions off the hook, unfortunately. But it should still result in another field goal, and it does. We need to hope for a little bit more of a ruthless offense in the Super Bowl, which is ridiculous to say, but that's exactly where we're going. It's another turnover. George Whitney has fallen apart. T.J. DeVree with the interception, and this game is over. Talk about the offense of the Lions. Well, what about the defense of the Arizona Cardinals? 7:41 away from the Super Bowl because this defense is lights out. Massey not really turning on the Jets, but that'll at least kill a little bit of time off the clock. Not really sure what was up with that. He does have 146 yards of offense today, which is absolutely outrageous. You wouldn't assume that, but we are. Now 405 yards of total offense, 182 yards on the ground. We'll see what McCormick does here. Hand off to Massey a little bit more to the effort level. A little bit more in the speed department for Clayton Massey. Much, much better. Gets the first down, moves the ball up to the 14. Beautiful job there by Clayton Massey, although an injury does stop the clock. McCormick's going to throw on first down over the middle to Marcus Farrell. He'll fight for the first down all the way to the 3. A pickup of 11. It's 1st and goal for the Cardinals. And again, we are just moments away from punching our ticket to a goddamn Super Bowl. Our first ever postseason appearance. And we've been able to put it all together. Between the Giants, the Buccaneers, and now the Lions, although DeMarcus Reynaud goes down. It's a loss of 2, but keep that clock running. That's the only thing that matters. I started off Madden 19 with the Lions franchise mode on Twitch. So I can understand the Lions at this stage absolutely blowing it in the playoffs. McCormick throws out to the left. I'm surprised he just didn't try to sneak and at least get something there to keep the clock running. Detroit obviously reading the pass quite well, but I can understand, Detroit absolutely blowing it in the playoffs, having spiked a controller for the first time in a long time. McCormick will throw yet again over the middle. Marcus Farrell gets through the zone defense. Touchdown, Cardinals. And we are going to the Super Bowl. It is a 31-point game, soon to be a 32-point game after this point after, not even a field goal, this point after from Evan Fain. He nails it. 6 plays, 26 yards, just under 2 minutes. The Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl unless the most unlikely comeback of all time happens, which you never know. It could. Right? We don't want to seem cocky as the Lions march down the field immediately and score. It's now 38-13. We'll see what happens here. We wind down the clock. We are going to the Super Bowl to take on the New England Patriots. Unbelievable. Clayton Massey, our #1 pick in the draft, goes off and gets the job done. Say what you want about whether or not it was the right choice at the right time, but it worked out quite well for us. We outscored them 25-6 over the first 3 quarters and 13-7 in the fourth. That is a job well done. That is a wonderful Gatorade advertisement. They beat us in the passing department, but 200 yards on the ground and 2 takeaways in the fourth quarter from this defense was enough to get the job done. Detroit falls short. We win 3 games on the road through the wild card, the divisional round, now the conference championship, and we will play New England. In the final game of the season, McCormick 19 of 28, 187 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Pretty damn efficient. Clayton Massey with a monster game. DeMarcus Reynaud actually wasn't that bad either. Reynaud, Sapp, and Farrell led the way with 4 receptions. Sapp led the way in terms of yardage. Touchdowns for he and Farrell. Blocking-wise, the O-line was perfect. Defensively, Gardner and Brooks leading the way. Demetrios Brooks had an unbelievable game, as did the majority of the defense. That offensive line folded. We technically had 2 sacks on the day. Christie, Cole, DeVry, and Seamster involved in all of them. The interceptions for Cole, and what a pickup rookie safety / corner TJ DeVry has been. He has been tremendous. Fame was 4 for 4. Bruce Tootin only had to punt 1 time. He knocked it for 62 yards. 3 wins down. 1 to go for your Cardinals. We are going to the Super Bowl. I don't even know what Super Bowl it is at this point. 2027. It's Super Bowl whatever. And we'll be taking on the Pats. Whitney is the #1 quarterback for the NFC. We went through the #1, 2, and I think the third. Larson's the giant. We went through the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFC to get here. That is simply outrageous. And up to this point, I mean, Reynaud Sapp is actually the starting tight end over Steed. Up to that point, we hadn't had a single Pro Bowl representative. Demetrios Brooks has made it as the starting left end, and that might be it. Darian Meyer makes it as the starting corner, and that is it. Jamon Hughes as the punt returner. A little bit disrespectful with those Pro Bowl nominations, but hey, I'll take it. Weekly awards, I mean, it's got to be Massey, and it is. TJ DeVry also up there, but Reynaud for the Pats. That is the guy to watch. 4 touchdowns against the Chiefs. Was sacked 3 times, though, and if our defense continues to be as strong as they have been up to this point, things could work out very, very well for us, as Massey makes it up now to a legitimate 83, but an 84 with confidence. 21-year-old star. I think we made the right choice. TJ DeVry, what a selection he was. I've had some hits and misses in the second and third round of the draft at times, but what a player he's been. If we can just get the awareness, the recognition, and the zone coverage up, that would be great. So I mean, oh boy, let's go for hybrid. So he'll stay at a 79, but he does get some decent improvements to awareness and man coverage and recognition. And actually, those are perfect. Literally the 4 stats he needed to improve on, he does improve. And Kawan Beatty, I'm not sure how much he's gotten to play, but well done to him. We'll make him better as a run stopper. That gets him up to a 74 overall, now at 25 years old. And DeAndre Mixon is, of course, just a random fill player, but maybe due to special teams work, he goes up an overall point. 2027, the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots in Dallas, Texas. Jerry World. We finally made it.